what sets you apart? And just as plain as can be, he said, Dom, if I have a client that calls me and his load wasn't picked up or it was running late, I get in a truck and I go pick that load up. He goes, and I'm the owner.
Yeah.
He goes, if an owner can never do every job in the company, whether it's picking up the trash at the end of the day or going to speak to their factoring company, they shouldn't be an owner.
They shouldn't be an owner. That's what you do. I don't have to be told, no, you don't have to be told to go do what you got to do.
And just the minute I was in there, I was like, okay, this is a team I want to be part of.
Out west where the sun always beams bright, Midland skies keep the hustle in sight. BAM Consultants got the blueprint intact. For dreamers on the grind, they got your back. Championing dreams from the ground to supreme, providing that spark, igniting the team. Marketing flow strategies that glean. BAM in Midland, building your dream. They teach
Bam! All right, we got a special one today. It is the Power Hour with Power Funding. Mr. Dominique Villarreal.
Yes, sir.
And Miss Sarah Stredic.
Yes.
Welcome. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having us. We're excited.
For sure.
We're excited.
For sure. And I introduced the show with the Power Hour, right? With Power Funding.
That's right.
Because we're going to be doing this on a regular basis.
Awesome.
Once a quarter.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Let's do it. So we're going to come in here, we're going to talk factoring, financing, funding, small business, entrepreneurship, just, what this show is really all about, right? Yeah. BAM BizTalk is, our listeners are largely entrepreneurs, go-getters, hustlers, just people who are trying to do something, right? Make a difference, make an impact, and feed their families. Leave a legacy.
That's right.
Right? And that's what, I feel like that's what our collective, that's our goal, right? That's what we're trying to do.
Yep. Just build good businesses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very simple. Yeah. So, Sarah is the Midland representative.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So tell us a little bit about Power Funding here in Midland.
So we opened the office about a year ago. We offer all our same services that we offer from our main office in Houston, but we're building this market. We're growing the area, bringing on new clients, just offering our factoring services.
Yeah, for sure. Mr. Dominique, Power Funding. Yeah, it's you got a story behind Power Funding, huh?
Yeah, Power Funding has been in business since 2001. Group of guys out of East Texas owned it, and it was a small company at the time, but about 2007 I met them, and they were wanting to scale it. So I was doing some consulting work for a company and jumped on board with them and scaled the company from one office in East Texas to 4 or 5 in the United States. We offer, the technical word is asset-based lending. We buy accounts receivable, provide cash flow for companies, but built the company very successfully for 9-10 years. Brought on new investor group about 2-3 years ago, and it's really working well for us. The goal is to help companies step up and do, at some point, they want to be bankable, but for us, we're kind of that stepping stone for them to, a lot of companies don't realize they have a receivable, and that's an actual asset that's an asset of theirs. And someone's willing to give them money for that asset. That's us. Yeah. And then we become part of the team. So they use their invoices to create cash flow for their company, and we help them grow their companies by doing that and offering other services. We do, credit for them. We become the collections team if they want us to. So it's a full package deal, or they can even do it kind of like an a la carte deal. So it's worked out well. We didn't invent anything new. We think we're very good at what we do. Yeah. Again, for us in our industry, we don't want to view our clients as a number by any means. We want to view them as a partner, and that's very important.
Yes.
So
I love that.
Growing a business is just, it's not just going out and doing something. It's building something that you can go at home, go to sleep knowing it's being ran properly, and that's important for us.
Absolutely.
Definitely. We want to team up with our clients, be part of the team. And that's really how I ended up with Power Funding. I've been in the industry for 21 years, but deciding to join the Power Funding team was a big deal because it aligned with how I like to do business with my clients and bring a company in and grow it, make it bankable, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And, you know, I love it because the more we talk, the more I realize there's just more and more overlap, right? And more synergy between us, right? Because, you know, what you said right there really hit close, right? You know, we see our clients as not a number, but a partner. So one of the first taglines for BAM, I don't use it anymore, but Michael used to say, we're a partner for the life of your business.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that it's always stuck with me. It's like, yeah, no, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
You know, because if I ask you for something, you know, we can only do so much, right? But if we can get you to come on, meet me halfway, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
You're going to be great, right?
One of the things that we see that we do so much of, there's a lot of people that have great ideas, or a lot of people in our industry that can do a certain job, that work for somebody, that at some point in their life with an entrepreneurial spirit will wake up and go, I can do that by myself and own my own business. We love those kind of stories. And we don't just want you to do what you do. We want to build a business with you.
Yeah.
We want to know that, you know, let's make it some sort of legacy if your family wants to take it on, if your kids want to take it on. And that's what we try and do. We're not just out trying to buy invoices and go away.
Yeah.
You know, we really try and take the teammanship approach and try and help our clients grow.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From just an operating standpoint, we buy invoices, we do credit investigations. Again, we'll do collections if they want us to, and we have people on the ground. We're not, you know, we're from Texas. We work all over the United States. You pick up a phone, you call our offices, someone's going to answer it. You're not going into a box to where you have to hit a button or anything. Right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean a lot, but it does mean a lot to a guy that's starting out,
Right.
or someone that's going through a growth spurt. You know, not everybody uses factoring just because they're starting out. A lot of people's could be at a bank today and they've maxed out their line of credit and the bank says, I just can't give you anymore. Well, that's where we come in. We'll give them more.
Yeah.
And we can take over the bank relationship and really give them the opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
It's an exciting thing for us.
Yeah. And I love that because you have the flexibility, right? Because conventional banking, you know, it's like it's still ancient, right? They still think they have gold bars back there. You know what I mean? Like, not anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, so they're really what I've experienced a lot of. And, you know, I might piss some people off right here saying this, but they're walking in checking boxes. Oh, have we checked this box off? How about this box? Irregardless, if this makes sense, like you said, tapped out, reach the limit, right? Your cap.
Yeah.
Okay, but if we just had this much more because we have all of this, we can pay that back. No problem. It'll help us take us to the next level. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a great example. We have clients that, and I'll just give you an example. We have a client that puts oil-filled pipe into the ground, and he's got all his equipment working, and he's maxed out using his equipment. Well, he gets another prospective client that comes to him and says, I want to use you as well, but he doesn't have the equipment because he's maxed out. Goes to the bank, and the bank says, we're not ready to do that for you. Power Funding is.
Yeah.
We see the future of you doubling your business, and if we have to give you a loan for that piece of equipment, well, guess what we get on the backside of it? We get to buy your receivables and provide cash flow for you. We're in the business to buy receivables.
Yeah.
And it works for us. And we take the time to go visit our clients. We go sit in their offices with them. We don't just want to be there for the rah-rah times. We're all entrepreneurs. You know, there's pains as well. And we want to try and work that stuff out too. So we really try and take the entrepreneurial approach.
Yes.
And we really try and view it that way, as opposed to just an outsourced service. Send us your invoices, we'll fund you, and we'll talk next time.
Right.
That's not our approach.
No.
And we're not going to let it be.
You know, it's like the conventional banking treats a business loan, right, like a home mortgage, right? Yeah. Home mortgage isn't going to be able to pay cash flow, right?
That's right.
But you're treating a business, something that can generate it, the same.
Yeah.
You're calling it a different thing. You know, you maybe even have a full different department for it, but you're treating it the same way, and it doesn't make sense.
That's a great example. And kind of as nerdy as we are, the history of factoring was really around before banking. I mean, back in the 1800s, they were bartering rocks as money. I mean, when money was being used, that's factoring. So we didn't invent anything new, but we do have a product, and we want to work with companies that are looking to grow, or even someone that works for someone that says, I can do that on my own and provide a good service and provide for my family. We want to be a part of that. And everything from helping them get their insurance they need, to setting up their corporate structure, to getting QuickBooks set up. I mean, really build a business with them.
Yes.
That's our goal. We enjoy
Sometimes
it.
you have to think outside the box, and I think the banks can't do that.
No.
You know, that's what's hard. And there's a place for everything. Banking
For sure.
has its place, right? But with factoring, especially with some of these entrepreneurs and even established business owners that have hit that cap, we can get in there and think outside the box and come up with some creative ways to do things that even in the years that I've been doing this, there's still times where we'll work on a deal and we'll be talking over something and we'll come up with a plan, and I'm like, well, that was a great idea. We've never done that for anybody before, but why not? Let's do it that way. Yeah. And that's amazing, having been doing it this long, that we still come up with new and creative ways to help people.
Yeah. They're creative. I think you just said the key word right there, because that's what was in my head, right? Find creative financing, right? Creative ways to go about it, to do it, you know, and it's multidimensional, right? Because when you see it black and white, you know, it's either a yes or a no. And if you see it like that, you're missing a lot of the gray area that's in there, you know?
And a lot of clients, with all due respect to banks, we like our banks.
Sure.
Banks hate to tell people no. We've become the source that a bank says, I don't have to tell that guy no. I can tell him, go talk to Sarah.
Yeah.
Let her build you the way we need to have it, and then come back to us if you want.
Right.
It's really a great thing for both sides, because banks have one answer: it's yes or no.
Right.
And now they have, I can't, but here's who can right now.
Yes, yeah.
And then we start, from the bottom up. Or if they're going through a growth spurt, we're the guy that can jump and help with that. And we work with a lot of different staffing companies, trucking, distribution, manufacturing, every oil field company you can think of.
Yeah.
Saltwater haulers, sand haulers, pad builders. I mean, it's endless. Wireline companies. And they have to make payroll at least every week.
Yeah.
Some of their customers only want to get billed once a month. We fix that for them.
Yeah.
And we allow them to make payroll every week, and we build a business. We understand how that works. And that's what's important to us. A client says, well, how does it work? What do I do? You go run your business like you've always done it. And when you invoice your clients, you send them to us. We pay you for them. And you don't have to wait the 30 to 45, and oil fields 75 days to get paid.
90 days, yeah.
We're in the oil field.
Yeah, we're in the oil field.
30, 45.
We understand how that works.
Yeah.
And yes, we do it for a fee, but that's what we do for a living. And,
sure.
And some of our clients have been with us for 15, 20 years, and we're very proud to say, we say that because we're not the cheapest in the industry, but we're definitely not the most expensive. And we feel like we've teamed up with clients, and we want clients to have the know that they can go to somebody and say, how do I tackle this new job I'm getting, or this new PO I'm getting? And that's how we want to be.
Right.
The BAM BizTalk podcast is brought to you by Power Funding Ltd, the leader in cash flow solutions for growing businesses. If your business is waiting 30, 60, even 90 days to get paid, but your expenses can't wait, Power Funding Ltd has the solution. They specialize in invoice factoring, helping you turn unpaid invoices into immediate working capital. That means same-day funding, no startup fees, and access to up to 98% of your invoice value, so you can keep your operations moving without delay. From trucking and oil field services to staffing and manufacturing, Power Funding supports businesses across industries with fast, flexible funding designed for real growth. And the best part, it's not alone. It's your money, just faster. Stop letting slow payments control your business. Take control of your cash flow today. Visit powerfundingltd.com or call 432-235-3167 to get started. Power Funding Limited, giving you the power to grow.
The BAM BizTalk podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Pachuco's Restaurant. Craving authentic and eclectic cuisine in Midland? Well, Pachuco's has you covered. Located in downtown Midland at the ever-so-legendary and iconic historic building at 316 North Big Spring Street, Pachuco's blends rich and unique flavors in a conveniently pleasant and vibrant atmosphere. Enjoy the highest quality barbecue, savory tacos, burgers, and a variety of other mouth-watering dishes that reflect the spirit of a true Pachuco cuisine. Real, authentic, and just plain different. Check out their menu at www.pachucos432.com or call 432-218-8806 to inquire, or better yet, just show up and get your shine on. At Pachucos, where heritage, exquisite taste, and hospitality come together for an unforgettable dining experience. Pachucos, Midland, Texas. Now back to the show.
Because you want to be able to build your client to be able to be good without you, right? You just like, so you can go to the bank,
Bingo.
right? So what, like I think you alluded to it when we were talking earlier, that so many of these factoring companies before, factoring had a bad rap.
It did.
Right? Because you get into it and then you're locked. It's like you're caged in, you got them handcuffs, the factoring handcuffs, and they're, oh, you want to leave? That'll be $200,000, please.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We if you've never heard of factoring, the way factoring was viewed, I was just saying earlier, like even 3 generations ago, we were like a last resort.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you got to go to a factoring company. And Sarah, myself, some of the newer generations have worked really hard and explained to people, no, that's not the case. In the finance world, not that banking's going away, but pick up any article, pick up the Journal, pick up your local Financial Times. Private investor money is big.
Yeah.
And it's not as expensive as it used to be. And it's more flexible, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of, if it makes sense, a lot of people from a private standpoint are going to do those things. And it's very beneficial, very beneficial. One thing that, when I first started, you meet a client and he's working and he's got all his equipment maxed out and he gets a big call from somebody. And one of the things we try and, make them see or have them try and look at is, you feel like you have this golden egg coming your way, but let's kind of see if it passed the smell test.
Yeah.
Why is this guy calling you that's been in business for 10 years? Who's just fired him to give you the business?
Yeah.
And if you can get past that, it's a great opportunity. But we try and take that approach as well. Let's make sure it's a good opportunity for you. We run credit checks. And then at times we were dealing with a client today that said, look, I'm willing to put my name behind this guy. I've known him for years. He's a great individual. He's very well known in Midland. Banks would say no to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Banks would just say sorry. We don't. And in this case, we're going to work with our client because we believe our client and his processes and his procedures he's built very well. So that'll be a feather in our cap if we get past that. And those are the things we look at. Now, we're not always going to say yes, don't get me wrong. We are in the finance industry.
For sure.
But we aren't just going to close the door on those types of things. And
right.
if there's other ways we can, tackle collateral or secure ourselves, we do that as well too.
There's so many levers to pull.
There is.
How can you be creative about it, right? Again, of which it's like the old school, the equalizers and the audio.
Yeah.
You used to the bass, the treble, the mids, right?
That's right.
That's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, let's turn this up some and this down some. That makes complete sense.
Well, it's something that you would think is so boring, really,
yeah.
but it's not. Because there's always something. And even in my time in the factoring industry, I've been on both the sales side and the operation side, and both sides are equally fun for different reasons, because you are helping people and you are being creative and you do have to come up with those solutions every day on either side.
And one thing that's fascinating, just even, what Sarah does, Sarah starts from ground zero. So she's out meeting people, she's networking.
Yeah, she's feet on the ground.
Yeah, she's kind of the educator that says, here's what it is, because you get, I keep going back to you go through, whether a young couple or a young person, and they're trying to open their own business, just out of pure, how do I do this? It's so hard for them because they just don't know.
Yeah.
And Sarah takes the time to, well, here's a way to get cash flow.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say banks are not the way to go. Banks are a good source. Mm-hmm. They're kind of intimidating for me, being a guy that's 25 years old, thinking I want to open a business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's important to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of relationship building. And we talked about that even a little today with, sometimes you work with somebody and it doesn't work out the first time around. Maybe they don't end up becoming a client for whatever reason. But I know I've invested the time. I've spent a lot of time with them, getting to know them, getting to know their business. So it may end up happening later on.
Yeah.
Or either way, at least I was able to help them out in one way or another.
Absolutely.
But there is a lot of the education piece of it,
sure.
and talking, because sometimes people aren't nervous about it, or they've heard bad things about factoring.
Right.
And they're like, I don't really want to do it. I don't want my customers to think I'm in trouble, whatever the case may be. So I have to sit down and talk to people and reassure them that that's really not what it is.
It's not.
Right. And I think like you what you're talking about, what you're doing is it's the art of selling without selling.
Exactly.
Right? You're educating, right? Because it's the same thing. I've put tons of time into people who never converted, right? But every once in a while, they'll come across situations like, you know what? I think Angel was talking something about this. Let me see what he says. And then, oh yeah, man. And you know what? Can you do it for me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'll call you 5 years later and be like, oh,
Yeah.
hey.
and we don't. I mean, we trust me. We're in the business to fund invoices, but we don't get our feelings hurt if someone says it's just not for me.
Right.
We're trying to grow an industry, and it's been good, but it's the whole thing about factoring is, people know what a staffing company is,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, it's an outsourced product. Factoring's an outsourced product.
Yeah.
It's like if when you go, our company goes to staffing company. My way of thinking would be, what is your company doing wrong, and they can't keep employees happy?
Right.
And that's how they used to view factoring, or both just outsourced products.
Yeah.
And it's really a good thing for a lot of these companies.
But sometimes you just have to take the time to explain that to them and help them understand it. And it's easy to have those kinds of conversations when it's a product you've seen work over and over again. As a salesperson, you can sell anything, but it's a lot easier when you believe in the product and you've seen it work. There's nothing better than somebody coming to you with one truck and you're like, all right, well, let's do this thing, and you get them started and they start factoring and they've got the one customer, and then, however long it takes them, but, a year, 2 years later, they're factoring $3 million a month.
Yeah.
They've grown their company, and it's really fun to watch that happen and be a part of it.
Especially out here, because that one truck, if there wasn't the things such as factoring, they're waiting 45, 90, 120 days before they get that invoice in. So how are they fueling their truck?
Well, they can't. They have to lease it on with someone. They have to go work for somebody. And so even though you have the truck, you can't necessarily have the business because of the way it's set up out here.
Yeah.
We really enjoy just the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
And me coming from, the entrepreneurial world, I mean, I've had 3 jobs my whole life, but Power Funding's kind of our baby. And we know what it's like to have to make payroll. We know what it's like to have to make insurance. We know what it's like to get up and talk to a client at 2 a.m. for whatever reason. That's part of what we enjoy. That's part of running a business and being entrepreneurial driven.
Yeah.
When and if you say, what could you offer to somebody? Get a mentor.
Yes.
I to this day have a mentor. He's 82 years old.
Yeah.
And has no issue telling me, Dom, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Don't.
Good.
But because we all need guidance, and we all need to bounce things off of each other.
Yeah.
And even between Sarah and myself, Sarah gives ideas, and I give her ideas, and and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But everything from the 3 or 4 C's of credit, everything from marketing, sales.
Yeah.
I mean, all those things that come along with it. We like to talk about that.
Yeah.
And whether you're a client or not, we just want to talk to people that own a business.
Yeah.
It's fun for us,
Yeah. Absolutely.
One of the things we did growing up, we had a business. My wife had a business, and she used to rent these things that some people call them bounce houses and moonwalks and different things like that.
Oh yeah.
When we had our second child, I asked my wife, I said, hey, can you stay home for, a year to kind of get him through and then maybe go back to work after that? And on my son's first birthday, she said, I'm going to rent a bounce house. And I said, yeah, well, how much is it? She goes, I don't know, $80-100. And I said, great. She calls me back that afternoon. She goes, you're not going to believe this, Dom. And I go, what? She goes, I bought a bounce house. I go, you what? She goes, I bought a bounce house. I'm getting to the entrepreneurial spirit of our family. And she goes, I can rent it to my friends and to my family.
There you go.
We're from Houston, but probably 8-9 months later, we had like 70 bounce houses, 50 margarita machines, tents, tables, chairs. Wow. She was doing work for like the Hispanic Chamber for Houston, the Rockets, the Texans.
Oh, wow.
And I was blown away by this. I was selling snow cones on the weekend at festivals. But just the entrepreneurial spirit, it was so fun to see this thing grow. And we had people that worked for us, and if we had something that was due from whatever sports company, and their invoice hadn't paid, I'd go, what are we going to do to pay these people? And had I known about factoring back then, I'd be like, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
And that's it's a neat thing. So,
yeah.
And again, it's not for everybody. Some people, don't want to go to bank. If they can, great. I'd be lying if I didn't say, factoring is not as cheap as a bank. Mm-hmm. And factoring has become a little bit institutionalized as well. So what we take pride in is we are a privately held factoring company. Mm-hmm. We're not owned by a bank. You don't have to go to a credit committee in 2 weeks to get a decision made. You can call Sarah today and she'll have an answer for you by the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's just how we work. We're very entrepreneur driven, and a lot of entrepreneurs need that.
Yeah.
They have to have an answer.
You said when you said it's not for everybody, right? Not just factoring, but being a business owner, an entrepreneur.
Bingo.
That is definitely not for everybody.
No.
Right? It's just it's almost like going into nursing, right? It's a calling.
It is.
Right? It's like you get the bug.
Yeah.
Nursing's a grind. The medical field, it's a grind.
Yeah.
You got to show up, whether you feel good or not, you want to or not. You gotta, if you're a business owner, gotta show up, whether you want to or not. There's no calling in.
Yeah.
Unless like you just can't get out of bed, right?
Yep.
You gotta make those phone calls. You gotta pound the pavement. You gotta go out there and shake hands and. You have to do it, even though you're feeling icky. Yeah. You're like, I just don't want to, All right.
One of the best examples Sarah was telling me today when I got picked up from the airport, she goes, I had a long night and I had an event to go to this morning. I just didn't want to go. And she goes, I'm so happy I make myself get up and do these things.
Shout out Founders Blend.
Founders Blend. Yes.
Because it pays dividends.
Yeah, it really does. It's just one of those things where, you wake up in the morning, you're like, I go every month, maybe I skip this one. And then you go. And then as I was driving back to the office, I thought, I'm really glad I was there this morning.
Yeah. Same. I have experienced that as well. I'm glad I went.
We've got a lot of over-the-road trucking clients where I was talking to a client 4 or 5 years ago, and I said, what makes you different? Like, you're a very nice person. I don't know, he owned 50 or 60 trucks. I go, what makes you different? I go, what sets you apart? And just as plain as can be, he said, Dom, if I have a client that calls me and his load wasn't picked up or it was running late, I get in a truck and I go pick that load up. He goes, and I'm the owner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, if an owner can never do every job in the company, whether it's picking up the trash at the end of the day, or going to speak to their factoring company, they shouldn't be an owner.
They shouldn't be an owner.
Period.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. I was just cleaning the bathrooms the other day. That's what you do.
That's right.
Gotta do.
And so talking about ownership, and I was attempting to impart this knowledge on, he worked for me, but I never considered an employee because it was more of a partnership, right? So, they already were here at work, and I got here and there's some trash outside, right? And I'm like, because owner gets out, I'm picking up the trash, right? No big deal, right? So, you know, in explaining that to him, right, it's like something clicked, right? He was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to be told, you know, no, you don't have to be told to go do what you got to do,
Yeah.
right? So from then on,
Yeah.
it was done, you know?
It's an amazing thing, and you really, you know, we all know the most important part of any company is providing a good service, but treating your employees
Yes. Yeah.
with so much respect. And it goes both ways. I mean, it really does. But if you're not, you know, if people go, well, Dom, you're the CEO of a company. I'm like, we don't even talk about titles in our company. We never push them around. But the most important thing, if someone asks you a question, one of your employees, probably let it marinate and give them a good answer.
Yeah.
Don't push them down the road.
Right.
And just, you know, different things that entrepreneurs can really do to just grow a successful business. I think it's so important. And you're right. It's a 24/7. We live power funding.
Yeah.
People laugh at me and go, except for today, they're like, every time I see you, you got a power funding cap or shirt on, even on the weekend.
I had mine on earlier.
Yeah, you wear them to church. So I'm like, but that's who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Sarah in Midland. She's Sarah. But Sarah's power funding. You know, we brand this thing, and all entrepreneurs, you know, you've got to be proud of your product. You've got to support it. And if anyone thinks it's a cakewalk, don't do it.
Yeah. That's what I tell people. It's like, if you have some fear, good.
That's
If
right.
you're not scared to go do it,
Yeah.
go get a W-2.
That's right.
I think if you're the owner and you're trying to grow a team and build a team, I think it's important to have that mentality and it be that way, but not in the way that you do it, right? Like you're saying, I'm not the owner, but I feel that way too.
Everyone
because
takes
it's
ownership.
Yes.
because it's the way that it is at Power Funding. You know, it's built that way and you want to be part of the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a culture that you've created over time. And just the minute I was in there, I was like, okay, this is a team I want to be
makes
part
sense.
of.
Yes.
You know,
And you said it, culture.
it's the culture.
Right? It's building that culture because it's really empowering your employees.
Yeah.
You know, because if you empower them to take care, then they're taking care of you. They're taking care of the business. They take, you know.
Yeah. And what's unique about our situation at Power Funding is, you know, we not only have our own to take care of, if that makes sense, we have clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If we have 500-600 clients, guess how many families that is? Guess how many kids that is?
Yeah.
So we think that way. You know,
Yeah.
It's not just Power Funding and its people.
Yeah.
It's our clients and their families and their kids.
Yeah.
So every decision we try and make, and we just try and put our best foot forward. That's
sure.
important to us.
For sure.
But we enjoy it.
Yeah. You know, again, there you go. You know, like Michael always used to say, you know, when you hire somebody, you're just not hiring them. You're hiring their family.
Yeah.
You know, so every decision that you make impacts a lot of people.
Yeah.
And in a business owner, you have to be mindful of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We you know, we enjoy it, and you know, everyone, now that I've been doing it so long, you have some of the business owners starting out like, you know, just, you know, as you grow and experience, share your knowledge. You know, try and mentor someone, that type of stuff. And people go, what do you do? I go, I do silly things like still get up and make the bed in the morning because it starts my mental approach off.
1,000%.
You know, I try and read a book, you know, once every 1 or 2 weeks, just because
Oh, nice.
you've got to do those things.
Yeah.
And there's got to be an outlet. You know, some people work out, some people go running, but when you're in the office, it's time to go.
Yeah.
In every facet of it. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Entrepreneurs and small business owners, are you searching for ways of taking your business to the next level? BAM is your answer. We specialize in crafting high-performance marketing strategies that put your brand front and center right in the palm of your customers' hands. Not only can we create a premium website full of features that optimize your social media and digital marketing presence, but we ensure that your brand gets multiple views from your target audience and even those visiting your competition. BAM is your go-to solution in the Permian Basin. But we're not just about digital and social media marketing. We're a one-stop shop offering a spectrum of services including business mentorship, strategic planning, market research, and access to capital. That's right. We can get you funding to expand your business. With BAM, you're not just getting a service, you're gaining a partner committed to your growth for the life of your business. So why wait? Kickstart your journey to success today. Call us to set up a free consultation and discover how BAM can help your business soar above the rest. 432-247-8840. Call today and get your business launched.
This episode of BAM BizTalk is brought to you by Flash Mobile. Whether you're managing your business, chasing your dreams, or just handling life on the go, Flash Mobile gives you nationwide for GLTE coverage. No contracts and total freedom, all at a price that makes sense. Activate your plan in minutes. Bring your own device. Stay in control wherever life takes you. Contact us and make the switch today. And now let's get back to today's show.
I was just having this conversation the other day. You know, we've been in business 6 years, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. And
if I may say, not to cut you off, but you know what the mark is, so you got past your 5th year.
got 5, yeah.
That's huge.
That's
Congratulations.
It, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. And I feel literally and metaphorically and any way you want to put it, I feel like I'm in startup mode. Mm-hmm. And when I said that, I was like, wait, I'm going to be in startup mode. I don't see ever ending. Yeah. You know, I'm going to be 82, still in startup mode. Yeah. You know, I might start to wind it down there and hand off some things, but I'm still going to be like, nope, gotta go, make it grow, you know?
It becomes part of you. It becomes, you know, we, and I keep going back, Sarah, because I'm in Midland with you guys, but like, we're Power Funding, but we're Sarah in Midland. Sarah's us, and that's so important to us, and there's trust, there's validation, there's so much that goes behind that.
Yeah.
And she's always going. I mean, she'll text me on a Saturday, but that's just us, and that's a good thing. I mean, you've built a culture, and anyone, you know, starting to open a business, you know, cash flow is just one part of it. I mean, there's sales, marketing, healthcare. I mean, there's so much behind it that needs to be looked at. But find yourself a good mentor. That's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't be upset about the things they tell you. That's so important.
Well, and I think you have to be open to those things. No matter how long you've been doing something, no matter how long you've been in an industry, there's always something you can learn.
Yes.
Yeah. There's one, like, there's lots of characteristics that you look for in somebody, right? But one of the main things that I always like is, are they coachable? Are they teachable? Right? Because if you're willing to learn and willing to discard things that you've already learned that don't serve you in that purpose or what's your mission, and then what are you doing? What are you trying to do, right? But if you can change the way you think and the way you do things because somebody saw you, right? It's like in the gym, they have all the mirrors everywhere, right? Well, it's not for vanity, right? It's so you can see your form. Right, it's that mirror, right? It's when a good coach is seeing you. It's like, you're looking in the mirror and they're telling you, straighten this, do that, right? Like, hey, no, you don't want to do that. Yeah. You're gonna hurt yourself, right?
Before we walked in here, we were sitting in the office and we're talking about a prospect, you know, that we've been working on, and it was a more difficult one that I've been working on this year, and spent a lot of time on it, and it didn't work out, but I just mentioned what he'd said, and I've been in sales a long time. You know, I've been doing this a long time. And Dom said, well, you know what, say this to him, tell him this, you know, and I'm like, okay, you know, that's a great idea. And it doesn't matter how long I've been doing it. I'm not going to think of everything, and maybe not from the same perspective that he would.
Right.
So I appreciate that feedback, and you have to be willing to take it, not be like, no, I got this. Like, I know how to sell my own deals. Like, I don't need your help.
Yeah.
You know, because I do, and I appreciate it. And that kind of thing does help.
Yeah. A lot of times a second voice helps a lot of things. Man. And one of the things you tell people, you know, just the whole entrepreneurial spirit, you know, don't ever give up. If you really have it, you don't give up. And you talk about sports. I always challenge people to go back and look at Michael Jordan's stats before he became Michael Jordan. It's a great story. Yeah. You know, great story.
Yeah, cut from his high school team.
Yeah.
You know, he just wasn't supposed to make it.
Didn't give up.
Yeah.
He could make a free throw for anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we all know how that ended.
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing, man. So Dominic, I know, you know, you kind of alluded a little bit to it, but you know, you've only had 3 jobs in your life.
Yeah.
Right. So you've been in the financial world for 30 years? You said?
I have. So I've been in the business since '93. Funny enough, I was in school and I heard a guy on TV way back when, and he talked about alternative financing. So growing up, I tried multi-level marketing, business this, business, and I was just amazed by this. And when I found out what he meant factoring. So I worked for a company for 15 years, a big privately held factoring company in the U.S. And then I did some work for a company out of the UK who was trying to come into the U.S. and we kind of were scaling that business. About 8 months into that, I met a couple of guys out of East Texas, which isn't a very big area. They said, we've got this factoring company. It was kind of a stepchild company at the time. They had a big business they had kind of exited out of. And one of them was like, man, I know we can make this thing grow, and I just kind of hear you may have an interest. And so he took this company basically from not zero, but close to zero, and built it. I mean, huge, buying, at the time over $500 million, then north of close to $1 billion a year, and just kept growing it. So we had kind of hit our limit from a capability standpoint and started to market the company. Talked to some big names that wanted to buy our company, and just ended up meeting a really phenomenal family out of South Florida, a big family fund, and very entrepreneurial driven, own 8 or 9 specialty finance and different types of companies. But they had the entrepreneurial spirit, and they walked in and it just felt right. Does that kind of make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If you do it for this long, you kind of know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And so now we've been mandated just to kind of continue to grow this thing. So, I've only had 3 per se jobs.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Wow. Yeah. I can't even count the number of jobs I've had.
Yeah.
I've done all kinds of stuff. My first job was Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Nice.
Yeah. I was still in high school.
Nice.
And since I always knew I wanted to be a business owner, though, and it was because of seed planted by my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, we went out to eat like I think it was like a Taco Villa or something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember, but just a taco place, right? And he just made a comment, an offhand comment. He was like, I wanted to open a burrito place, but I had a family, so
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Dad wanted to be a business owner. Okay, so I just kind of tucked it away, and then I always knew, I just never made the move.
Yeah.
And then when I did, I'm like, oh, okay, this is why,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's freedom,
Yeah.
even though, I get to say when I get to go into work. I don't have to go in because somebody else tells me it's at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know what? If I want to go in from my house, okay, I'll be there at 6:30.
Yeah.
But it's my time
Yeah.
that I want to be there, right?
Yeah.
And if I want to leave for lunch at 10, I can,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And if you want to come home at 10 at night, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I said I was in startup mode. I'm literally, I sleep here 2-3 times a night,
Oh, wow.
a week.
Wow.
Yeah. And because I live 30 minutes away,
Yeah.
in the commute, I'm just like, it's 10, 11, midnight. And I was like, I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
By the time it's all done.
it's an exciting thing. I mean, again, as many businesses as we talk to, one of our first questions is, and I love for people to even ask me, and I'm sure Sarah loves for them to ask her, how'd you get started in your craft? And then just sit back and let them go.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really a neat. We hear so many. I can tell you about so many businesses that people just don't think of. And even being on the plane today, flying in from Houston, 2 of my clients were sitting in front of me, and I didn't realize it until they got up. I was like, oh my gosh, what are you? We're going to work. I mean, it's just they're from South Texas.
Yeah.
But just all the different things you learn about. I mean, that people just don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to own a business, and there's a lot of ways to help communities and provide jobs and different things like that. So
Yeah.
it's just
Everybody
really
has a
nice.
story.
Everybody has a story.
But we get to be part of it.
Yeah.
That's fun too.
It really
For
is.
sure. Can you give it so our listeners out there that you've defined factoring, right? Now can you give an example of a company that you got on to factoring and then they started with one truck, right? Like,
That's a great
can
story.
you talk about that progression?
I've got one. You got
Go
it?
ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have a one. So our longest tenured client has now been with us through my progression of companies since 1999,
Oh wow,
and he's still with us.
wow.
He is a bankable client, but he prices our cost into his services now. Kind of works out for him. But we had a client in El Paso, Texas, and he had gone through a family issue, and he was working for a trucking company, and he came to our office and said, "I've bought me a truck. It's a used truck, but I want to start hauling my own freight." And someone said, "You guys will pay me for my invoices." And I go, "Well, we won't pay you. I mean, we'll pay you for them, but your customer's going to pay them.
Yeah.
But we will advance you on them." And he was of Hispanic descent, very nervous, and he had his truck. He did that for about a year, and then he came back and he said, "Hey, I want to buy 2 more trucks. How do I get those?" We go, "Well, go to a bank." He goes, "I'm not going to a bank."
No. Mm-mm.
And our sales guy out there said, "Why don't we give him a loan?" And I said, "I'm good with that. See if his first truck was paid off, I can use that as collateral." It's kind of a flyer, but it's not really a flyer. He's got good character. He's been good. All his paperwork's good. So we bought his 2 trucks. 4 years later, we had financed 45 of his trucks, and he built them.
Wow.
Year 6 comes by, and he goes, "I want to build a building. I'm leasing an office right now."
Man, own the dirt, baby.
We financed his
Yeah.
building. He's still our client,
Yeah.
and he's successful. And he's got a beautiful building.
Yeah.
He owns all. And when he needs new trucks, he'll sell the old ones, and we'll finance the new ones if he wants us to. And just the different products. I mean, again, it's factoring. That's what we do. But we give loans to clients for equipment. We know how growth works. I mean, you've got to have the equipment to grow.
Yeah.
And we do insurance finance now. So just the different products we think we offer that helps our clients grow. At the end of the day, we know we're buying more receivables.
Right.
Yeah.
And all the clients are different. They come in different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Right.
You have, we were talking about that today. I was saying we've got clients that are similar, in what they're factoring maybe on a monthly basis, how much business they're doing, how large their company is. But, you've got some that are a little more professional, some that maybe are not, that just kind of learned it from the ground up and they're still figuring it out. And we walk alongside them and kind of meet them where they are,
Right.
And help them
Yes.
figure the business out. And that's something that's nice that we're able to do, because you just run into every different kind of person. It's not like a bank where you have to feel like I've got to have it all figured out before I walk in there, because we kind of help some of them. And some of our clients do have it figured out.
Yeah.
I sit down with them, I talk, they know what factoring is, they know what they want, they already know the numbers, and they're ready to send me everything and let's get going.
Yes.
And then I have a guy that I got to sit there just for an hour, just to even get him comfortable enough to even know what the next step is.
Yeah.
And they're all good clients. It's
Yeah.
just different. It looks different every time.
Right.
And one thing that we really try and do is you're probably asking, some of these have been with you for so long, but they're very professional. They're very, they're entrepreneurs, but they keep everything on a professional. They never ask you for something that they know but it's just a nice relationship. But some of the things we do, I'd be lying if I didn't say. I mean, I've had, I can think of one time a client called me, his truck broke down and his card wasn't working for his fuel account, and Saturday at 3 a.m. in the morning, I went down to Western Union to wire him some money to get gas to come home. That's just, we're not looking for praise on that, but we know where he's at.
Yeah.
We know that he's trying to get home to his family.
Yeah.
And we know, we're going to do our best to help. Not just our clients, but any person out. I mean, that's just human dignity. That's just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I do think there is a level of, it's a little bit more fun in our industry because we can do things that are a little outside the box like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell people, if you stick with me, like, I'll take care of you. And you just never know what kind of crazy stuff's going to come up, like something like that.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
I had a guy that was trying to buy a truck, and the guy that he was trying to buy the truck from, it had to happen that day, and if it didn't happen that day, and you know how it is,
Yeah.
and I sell it to somebody else, and it happened to be the day he was like scheduled to have eye surgery.
Oh, wow.
So we needed, and this is back before we could like send a DocuSign. You had to get the paperwork signed, and so I'm like running up the stairs at the doctor's office with the paperwork, and he's like in the bed, and I'm in there like,
Oh,
and
wow.
he's signing like before he had to go get eye surgery. I'm like, well, I mean, we got to get this
He got his
truck
truck.
done.
Yeah.
He got his truck. I mean, he opened his eyes and hoped so. Anyway, I had to handle the rest of it, but I mean, and that's okay.
That's right.
We made it happen, and he was a very
He's
loyal
happy.
client.
It's funny because a lot of things are done on DocuSign now.
Mm-hmm.
But Sarah, tell us how many times you've gone to grocery stores, schools to meet parents to sign documents.
Oh gosh,
It was part of our
He
life.
used to call me like the mobile factory, and I'd go everywhere. I've signed documents at a car dealership in the parking lot, all over the gas station. The client that started with one truck and grew, we signed his original factory agreement at a gas station because he didn't have an office and he didn't have time to make it to my office, and so I just met him there and we sat outside the truck and signed everything because that's how it used to have to be done. Now it's all on the phone and very convenient and probably a little safer.
From a size standpoint, a lot of people, am I too small to factor? Or am I too big to factor?
Yeah.
We do startups. That's one thing that Power Funding prides itself in. A lot of factors won't do startups. We do startups, and we do up to $15 million a month in client facilities. So we have clients that factor $5, $6, $7 million, $8 million a month. I mean,
Wow.
it's just so there's a lot of flexibility there. We feel like we have a good service. We're very proud of it. We're not the only one. We didn't create. What separates you from most?
Right.
We have a sense of pride, and one thing that we preach to ourselves more than anything is don't view us just as a factoring company. We want to be part of the team.
Yeah.
We want you to know that we're not part of your company by name, but we're part of your cash flow, your credit, your collections, and even your problems. That's how we want to be viewed.
Yes.
And if you're looking for just a cash flow type guy, that's probably not us.
Right. You know that in today's world, distraction is the enemy. The Deep Flow formula fuses human performance mastery with AI integration, helping you cut through the chaos, sharpen focus, and get more done in less time. In just one workshop, you'll learn how to turn stress into a repeatable rhythm of high performance, boost your creativity, and achieve clarity on demand. This isn't theory, it's a framework you can apply immediately. Call BAM Ventures, your business sidekick, at 432-247-8841 to step into your flow today.
Yeah.
Right. No, I love that because you're an integral part, your partner.
That's right.
And like being that part, because it's like keeping your ear to the ground, your pulse. You're keeping the pulse. You know what's going on, and now you're able to help. You're able to help even more than if you were just not viewing everything, right? But when you are a part of it, you can gauge at a more effective level.
Agreed. Yeah. Good point.
And I love that because I've recently, I'm always messing with what I call myself, right? Consulting, right? We started BAM Consulting. Consultants, the funny thing is, well, what do you consult? Okay, yeah, I get it. I'm not in the oil industry, So now I've started saying I'm a business advisor, right? Because now that kind of explains it a little bit better. It's just out there. But now even one of the services that I offer is, because we do a lot of LLCs and write operating agreements and that. So, well, we can also be your business advisory board, right? So that way now we want you to come in. We want you to, and if we're doing your books, we're going to talk financials, we're going to talk operations, we're going to talk marketing, we're going to talk all of it, right? The full 360 business model. How can we move some levers?
That's awesome. I mean, and it's people, especially young entrepreneurs, that just don't know that. I mean, it's so important. If there was a playbook, at the time that you could go to, I mean, that'd be, just the human interaction from someone that, like you guys, that have the experience, that have gone through it, that can say, here's what you need to think about. And if you take one nugget out of that, that's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a win.
Well, there's something to be said for experience too. I mean, we live in this world now where there's so much AI and internet and all the things. But I was at an event the other day, and one of the guys I was with was talking to a younger lady, and she was talking about a business opportunity. He said, "There's one thing I can tell you is, don't just look it up. Don't talk to somebody with experience." He said, you can, because she was like, well, I don't need help. I got it. Like, I know, I'm good, you know, and I don't think she meant it that way, but she meant, you know, like, I know what I'm doing. Right. And he said, I'm sure you do. And you seem very capable and very intelligent. However, there's something to be said for failure. And if you've never failed, then you've never learned.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
so
a great point.
Yeah.
you've got to fail a little to learn
Yeah.
and to get that experience. And so having an advisor, having somebody that knows.
Yeah.
No, I one of the things I like to boat. I think I'm a professional fisherman. I'm not, but I think I am.
Gotcha.
It's like when you're in a room alone, you're the best singer in the room.
Yeah.
It's the only time I'm the best singer in the room.
I would go out and I would go fishing wherever down in Galveston, Texas, and I woke up one day and I've got a boat buddy that I talk to that's in Florida. And I called him and I said, Gina, I'm gonna boat from Galveston to Florida.
Oh, wow.
I said I want to take my family on an excursion, and I'm going to end up at your place in Pensacola. I go, what do you think about that? And I really want to know. You know, I was looking for some advice, and he goes, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." And I didn't get my feelings hurt because I knew he had experience.
Yeah.
And once he told me why?
Yeah.
That was the dumbest thing I ever thought. He goes, fly to Pensacola and I'll put you on my boat and we'll just hang out. But the point Sarah's making is talk to people.
Yes.
Ask questions. And you know, it's okay to be told that's the wrong thing to do. And
especially if it saves you and your family's life.
Yeah,
You know?
it's important. So, but yeah, I think, again, I've said mentor 3-4 times, but it's such a huge thing.
It really is.
And what BAM offers, I mean, I don't know a lot of people that you can just walk in and say, hey, I got a problem. What do you think about this from a business aspect?
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, and where you guys are at in Midland, I mean, Midland's a wonderful place.
Yeah, it
and
is.
there's so much out here to be offered. And everyone I talk to, they're like, how do we make our community better? How do we, and not that something's wrong with it, but that's the spirit out here. People want to see Midland continue to be great. And services like yours and hopefully services like ours, we can just add a little piece to it.
Yes. No, absolutely. I think there's a lot of synergy there. And, you know, it's time. It's really time for Midland to have this type of service, right? That where people come in and, hey, I got a business problem, right? I was given a speech to Leadership Odessa a little over a month ago. And somebody asked me, well, what is it exactly that you do? Because I said, I'm a business advisor, you know. Somebody still asks the question, what is it exactly that you do? And I said, okay, I'm not communicating. Right? So basically, just what you said. I said, oh, I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. Because really, any entrepreneur is a problem solver. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because you're gonna have problems.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's that.
No, there's all. I mean, and there's got to be structure involved, and there's got to be approach. And like you said earlier, you know, I don't have to work for somebody. I can go in when I want. Well, you're working 12 hours a day as opposed to 8.
Yeah.
You just don't want to say, but
Right.
but people enjoy that stuff.
Yes.
And it's so exciting. But again, at the end of the day, you got to build a business right. And one of the ways to build it for us is, you know, if you can't go to bank, you got to have cash flow. Cash is king. We all know that.
Cash is king. Yeah.
And that's what we do. We provide that service. So it's important.
It's a lifeblood
It is.
of a business.
Yes.
You know, and you know, a lot of times it's feast or famine, feast or famine, feast or famine, feast or famine, right? Well, if you're not covering that in between, you know, then it's permanent famine. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. You know, there's so much out here in Midland, and you know, just we're blessed to be in Texas to begin with.
We really are.
You know. And,
Yeah, and we do work in New Mexico and Florida. We do it all over the United States, but half of our business is in Texas, and Texas is very, very business friendly.
Yes.
It leans on the business ownership type model.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, you guys know what Midland is too. the whole United States. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a provider, and it's not going anywhere. But what's really unique about it, in my opinion, is everyone is so friendly, and they want to make themselves a better community always.
Yeah.
So, and put that in business. You just want to be better always.
Always. Yeah.
You know, and one thing I tell people is, from a business aspect, you know, there's only three things that can be happening in business: going up, going down, or staying still. The worst one is to stay still.
Yeah.
Staying still is the worst thing for a business.
Yes.
And you really got to stay focused and pay attention to that, and figure out what the next step is.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what is the next step? Well, continue to grow your business, take advantage of all the new ways you can grow it. Not that the dinosaur age is bad, but you got to sprinkle in some new stuff every now and then. There's got to be a new vibe to a business.
Yes.
We change our website every 4 or 5 years. We add a color to it. We used to just be green. Now we're green and white and orange. I mean, you just keep adding to it.
Yeah.
And you got to have that freshness, that Christmas, crispness about it.
Yes.
And that's important too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. No, I've changed my logo 3 times in the last 2 years. So
It's important.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, when Michael, we founded BAM together, he used to say that all the time. He was like, keep it fresh, new, and exciting. Like, I swear I heard him say that like over 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You know, just over and over. He said, it's like having a business, it's like being married.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, if you let your marriage get stale,
Yep.
you're not going to be married too much longer. Right? He used to say something else, but I won't leave that for the podcast. But you know, it's you know, it very much. I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, right? So like it's like water, right? You know, business is like water. It can fill any vessel. You just have to keep it live.
That's right.
Keep it flowing.
Keep it moving.
You know, because once water gets pulled up and stagnant,
Yeah.
it gets nasty.
Yeah.
And it just degrades, gets things mixed up in it, and nobody wants to. You're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
You know, so business, same thing. Life, same thing. Your body, same thing.
Yes.
Stay moving, keep growing, keep trying to expand yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
It's huge. One of the things you talked about changing your logo, and it's I wonder, because if I were a listener, I go, well, who's all changed their logo? If you look at Apple, when Apple had their computer, it was a whole apple.
Yeah.
When they brought the iPhone, well, guess what that guy did? He took a bite out of the apple. Look at what Whataburger. Whataburger didn't used to always be thin; it was a big W, and they cleaned it up a few times. Everyone changes it.
Yeah.
It's got to stay fresh. So
Yeah.
that's neat that you've changed it.
Yeah. Well, so we were BAM Consulting, right? And it's actually this pin right here. That's the original kind of logo
nice.
part of it, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I still pay homage. You know, it's legacy.
Yeah.
Right. It's part of our history. So it'll always be around somewhere, right? But BAM Consulting was our DBA. You know, so BAM Ventures, that's actually our LLC name.
Nice.
You know, so when we created the LLC, that's like, I just love that name.
Yeah.
Ventures, right? It's powerful. It's strong,
It
right?
is.
It's like let's go pioneer something. You know, let's get out there and venture, right? You know, I loved it. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna that's BAM, right? It's like, let's explode out. It's the adventure, and so I really wanted to capture that, you know, because I feel, especially because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not some high powered, you know, Goldman Sachs, you know, business where they expect you to have that $50,000 suit, you know, and like, no, man, you know, I'm just kind of from the grassroots, ground up, right? It's actually the Ground Up is the name of a record company back in another lifetime when I used to be a recording performing artist.
Okay.
That was our record company, Ground Up Records.
Awesome.
You know, so it's kind of like stuck.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of, there's different lifestyles for different people, and yeah, there are those guys at the high level banking or investment companies, but again, being from Texas, I if anyone's listening outside of Texas, we're very pro Texas.
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of different reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Not just business. It's just a good quality of life for us. I feel like I had a client in Orange, Texas, and he would do work on different pipelines and stuff, and he was a very successful business owner. He, you know, probably billed close to $400 or $500 million a year and probably made a 40% profit. He was just a very successful guy.
Wow.
Every time I saw this man, he was wearing overalls and boots and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And it was the oddest thing to me, but he always took care of his people. He had probably 50 salesperson. And Sarah's going to be, how come you don't do that for us? But he called me one time and he said, hey, I just left the Harley Davidson dealership. And he had 30 salespeople. He goes, I picked out 30 Harley Davidsons. He goes, can you take money from my reserve and send that wire next Monday? That's when the guy said he's going to have the bikes there. He goes, and I'll just send them up a few at a time to get them. They live all over the place. He goes, it'll be a nice gift. We hit a milestone, whatever.
Wow.
I asked, am I getting one? And he goes, no. No, you're not getting one.
Well, for the record,
Yeah.
we could come up with something different.
Yeah.
Maybe not a Harley Davidson.
But it's funny. So I called this Harley Davidson dealership and I said, hey, my name's Dominique. And I go, a guy with overalls walked in last week or so ago and picked out 30 bikes. Are those ready? And the sales guy had a melt. He goes, are you serious? I go, yeah. He goes, man, I judge that guy wrong. I go, it's a bad thing in life.
Yeah.
I said, and one thing that I'm so proud about of Texas, we really don't judge a lot of people by the look. I mean, if you know Texas, people are entrepreneurial driven and they like to be successful, but they are not very showy.
Right.
So it's
And
really
in this
neat.
community and in this industry, I think that's important too.
Yeah.
'Cause, earlier we were talking about having all different size clients and all those things. And I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're factoring 30,000 a month or 10 million a month.
Yeah.
I mean, you treat them the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the guy factoring 10,000 may be factoring 3 million someday. And
That's right.
even if he doesn't, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean,
He's a business.
it's a business. He's a business owner.
Right. In business, like as in life, right? The variable, right, is people.
Yeah.
Right. And what even with this AI thing, right? We're getting more and more technological. Well, my theory is that I think we're going to swing back into, okay, we need to be more personal, more in person, right? Because this AI is already starting to feel kind of, external, honestly, because it is, right? And it's kind of, you see people's posts and you're reading emails and you're like, oh, that's AI.
Yeah. You're like, Dom's never written an email. I'm telling you. Even my wife tells me that.
That's what's been going on lately.
Wow, he really took his time on
That's
this.
what-
I think it's a great thing, but to keep the humanity in it, I think it's going to be a big factor coming up. And what sets someone apart,
No.
right?
Huge point.
No.
I was at an event. I was at a Christmas event with my wife at her college she graduated from, and one of the teachers there was opening a class on AI ethics. Like, because you got to be honest, you guys are big in the community. AI is everywhere, and kids are jumping on it with no rules or lanes right now.
Yeah.
And he said, we're going to teach. He goes, I don't want to call it AI moral but AI ethics.
Ethics.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
It's something we need to adopt, and I love it. It's huge, but you're right. There's got to be some lanes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
At different levels.
And companies, I believe, are, they're going to have AI ethic boards,
Nice.
because it can be your IT department, right? Whoever does the IT, right?
Yeah.
It has to be kind of a cross between HR, IT, and like your legal department.
Yeah.
Like how are we going to? These are how the company uses AI, right? This is the handbook of AI use, right? The SOP,
Yeah.
right? The manual of, okay, when you use AI, we'll be able to engineer the prompts and get it to everybody so it's standardized,
Yep.
right? We don't use this type of language. We don't use this type of grammar, right? This is what
That's right.
the company communicates. Yeah.
And for all the listeners, SOP, standard operating procedure.
Yes, huge.
So important.
Get them.
No, I agree. That's a great. You got to manage it.
Yeah.
Just like everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, because I feel like especially when AI first came out, there were so many companies just like they were so averse to it. I don't use it. I don't know about it. Well, what do you think the employee is going to do? They can make their own account.
Yeah.
And it cuts the work in less than half. So they're going to use it anyways,
Oh, yeah.
right? So standardize it.
That's awesome.
I think we're coming to that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think so.
Good stuff.
Hey, so man, this has been a great power hour.
Yeah.
The Power Funding Power Hour, and we're gonna be doing this again.
Yes.
Like once a quarter.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, we're excited. We want to just, one, be with BAM. I mean, we love what you guys do.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for inviting us to do this. We're going to do it once a quarter.
Yes.
And, Sarah would like to bring on different guests,
that'd be
different
fun.
things like that.
Yeah.
And more just to, visit with you and learn what you guys are doing, maybe hear what Power's doing, but really learn from an entrepreneurial standpoint, how do we just continue to be better at what we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not trying to change it overnight, but you can just constantly stay focused on growing a good business. That's what we're going to be a part of.
1000%. Love it.
Thank you so much for having
Absolutely.
us. Very
Welcome.
exciting.
I appreciate you guys too.
Awesome.
And this will come out, but April 10, you guys are having a BAM Burger Friday here.
Yes,
We are.
We are.
Yes. That's going to be fun.
Definitely.
Right?
Excited about that.
Gonna give a micro grant away.
We are.
So, wink, wink, we're going to be looking for people.
There you go.
Yeah, we're excited to do that type of stuff, be part of the community.
Yeah.
This is Sarah's home, and again, we are going to, provide a little grant, and we're excited.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely going to have, you'll be back very soon. But Dom, while you're here, what I usually ask our guests is, our audience, small business owners, entrepreneurs, what is a parting words that you would have to, words of advice for someone trying to start a business or in a business?
Yeah, thank you. For me, it's never lose your passion. Manage your thought. Find a mentor. Never get ahead of yourself. Take time out for yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that it's not just a human one. There's a lot of mental that goes into this. I personally get up and walk or run 4 or 5 days a week. Before the sun comes up.
Nice.
Just for me.
Yeah.
Stay focused. Don't let someone ruin your dreams. But more importantly, find a good mentor.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask a question. Most importantly, I asked someone 5 years ago, what's the most important thing? He was retiring from owning a business. He goes, be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just be nice.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. We're excited. We love this thing that you're starting out. We're so proud to be part of it.
Definitely.
Awesome.
And we look forward to the next one.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all, guys.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We'll see y'all on the flip.
Thank you, guys.